Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tammy K. Today I'm teaching you how to paint this as well as this. Now these are going to be paintings that we do for wall decor. So if you've ever wanted to do your own artwork to decorate your wall space, we're doing 2 of those today. So let's go ahead and paint. I can't wait to show you. We are going to be painting some really fun stuff today. Spraying down my watercolor palette. This is my professional set. It is linked in the description of this video. And it is my Paul Rubens professional set. This is my Polina Bright brush, also linked. And those are affiliated links if you're interested in checking out the supplies. So we're doing a simple eucalyptus painting right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. I've got these all pre-mixed from a landscape I was doing last night. And so this is this lovely bluish green. Let's add a little red to that. We can kind of dull it down a little bit, make it a little bit less intensely green. This one could be fun to use, maybe a little brown in there. Just mix that in right here. Because I want to mute these down. I don't want them to be so intense. You know, our eucalyptus and a little red. You can mute down some of your green. And, you know, I just want it to be really light colors. So I'm just going to grab some of my very watery mix of paint. And we're gonna start by adding in these eucalyptus leaves. Just think of the shape of the leaves, like kind of 2 little ovals coming together. And I'm going to add in just some nice wonky sections. So they're connected. We're just going to try to just emulate what we think they might look like. We're going to sort of just move on over a little bit upwards now, but these are connected together. I don't want them all to look the same, and I don't want them to be boring. So we're going to connect them with a stem, and then they'll make a little bit more sense about what they are and all the things. So you're getting smaller. Okay, just like that. Well, let's go ahead and connect it so you can see what I mean. I've got my lovely dagger, you know my dagger, but just use a pointed brush, a small, thin, pointed brush. We're gonna connect these together. And I'm just really doing that like sketchy stem, you know, I'm just gonna going versus a long straight line. And that tends to give me the look that I like better when I do it that way. So we're gonna go really simple, loose. Let's do one over here. And see how you don't really have to be too accurate when you're adding these in for it to look realistic. Like you know what I'm painting, right? You guys can do this too. So if you are struggling, you know, with what to put up on your walls, I'm gonna actually make these a little bit bigger because I do want to extend this more. See how I'm just throwing down the paint. We're gonna add in, you know, another layer of more saturated paint later, so it really doesn't matter at this point how it's looking because it's going to be darkened up soon. So yeah, if you struggle with what to put up on your walls, maybe you have a bathroom or something where you're just like, I have no idea what the theme should be, consider making something like this. This is really fun, or you can pick it up at my Etsy shop, just saying. But they're just so easy to make. So doing this and then doing the bamboo later, I encourage you to try it because they're just really fun botanicals. Florals can be fun, but botanicals have their own loveliness to them. Making leaves are really fun. I'm trying to keep all my stems around this bottom right corner and just kind of spraying out as our composition. So we're gonna see how we can do that. So I'm going to start adding in some right here, and this one's gonna kind of come out this way, be a little bit larger. So you can do those oval shapes, you can dab down, you can grab different greens and, you know, see how that works together. And leaving a little bit of white space, and then also dipping in the water and allowing your brush to get a little cleaned up, and then your paint is automatically lighter, which is a very pretty look. All right, so just doing a little bit there. That one got a little wonky. He's okay. It's gonna be all right. Let's add in our stem now. We've got this lovely kind of a grayish blue green situation happening here. Let's let those stems cross. And let's keep going. Just a little bit more of that kind of sappy green color. Yeah, I would call it sappy green. Sappy green. So I want to do a little one here. Let's just do that now. And remember, if we are keeping things, you know, with all of our stems here, we're just going to keep that in mind as we're painting to try to continue with that look. And a little bit of that maybe darker. There's kind of a brown green puddle happening. We're just gonna double dip. We're gonna do one over here too. There we go. It's gonna be a little bit shorter. Kind of go off like that. And maybe it's like crisscrossing over some of these. So I like to go ahead and just start connecting things as soon as possible. Then I can really see what's going on, what's happening, what we need to change or add, that kind of thing. Okay, so I want to do some more of that lovely blue-green color. I'm just going to grab some more blue and mix that up because we've got the green there already. Let's make it a little bit darker. So we've got 5 and I want to do maybe 7. We're just kind of eyeballing it at this point. I am following a sample that I already made, and so, you know, I'm just trying to keep up with that. When you make a sample that you love, you want to stick with it, right? And sometimes you choose to go off of the sample. You really just can do what you want. So I want this guy to start curving around a little bit, just going up a little bit more because I'm finding everything's kind of like this and like that, and just a little bit, you know, too perfectly shaped. So if that makes sense. So just a little bit like so. Add in our stems. And, you know, I hope that this is relaxing for you so far. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like. Let people know you're having a good time. Well, let's add in one here, kind of crossing over and going out right there. For whatever reason, I want to put one there. So it almost looks like a bikini top. Funny, huh? All right. So guys, I hope you are still having fun because this is such a simple, you know, easy painting to do. And it's so incredibly satisfying right away. And because it's simplistic, but it's so beautiful with the different colors of green. So that's why I say satisfying. Like, you don't have to paint for a long time to enjoy this painting, I think. You can just take, I don't know how long this is taking, 10-15 minutes, you know, to do this, and boom, you're done, which is really fun. I wanted to add a little bit more here, extending it out. Now, so, you know, like I was saying, don't be too concerned about the shapes and how they are, because they're just gonna be how you put them in. Now, I'm kind of liking what's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go ahead and do the fancying up part. So just mixing up a little bit more of a green and blue in my palette, whatever green, whatever blue. Okay, it's a little bit darker. And we're just going to quickly add in a little bit of shape to these just to make them stand out. We can do a little bit of that darker green as well. And I'm going to do that here. So it's all about adding dimension and depth and texture and interest, I would always say. So you can leave it light if you prefer light and that's part of your decor, or maybe you're gonna give this to someone and you feel like that's the way that they would like it the most, then keep it that way. But if you want to get it a little bit fancier, you can do that as well. A little bit of choices here within this. So you can see I was not really strict at all about the shapes of our leaves or eucalyptus. And of course, there's different types of eucalyptus you could paint also. You've got the long strands from the trees, the eucalyptus trees that the koalas eat. And then you've got more of those silver dollar ones that are a lot larger circles. And then you have these. And this is your average eucalyptus that you see in people's homes. You get to smell it. It smells amazing. It makes me want to go out right now and buy some because it's so pretty when it's in water. You know, I don't know how long it lasts in water, but then you can also dry it and it lasts a long time, like forever maybe. And it still smells amazing too when it's dried. So it's quite a fun thing to decorate with, and a natural air freshener, non-toxic air freshener. So that's good. All right. So I hope that you are enjoying what you're painting and you're fully relaxed. And if you're not, I'm going to remind you to take a deep breath, relax, take a deep breath, and enjoy this whole process. You know, it's hard to sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to get out of our stressful brains as well, especially if, you know, we're having a hard time at work or with a coworker, or a project is challenging our brains, or at home things are at unrest. And taking those few minutes a day to paint and reflect and just take care of ourselves is really, really important to getting us back to normal, hopefully having a good night's rest, waking up refreshed and ready with energy for the rest of your week and the rest of your day. Let's go ahead and do some splatter. I've got some of that nice blue-green on my brush, and I'm just tapping it, see, just gently, easy, for some nice, pretty marks. So there you have it. There's our eucalyptus. Let's go ahead and get into our bamboo. All right, so for this second painting today for our walls, we are going to make sure we have a nice sappy green color on our palette. So I'm mixing some of that up right now, and I'm gonna add some of this brownish to it. I wanna do a really nice light color for our bamboo stalks. So let's just try to test this out and see how we go. So we're gonna start with a bamboo stalk right up here. They're gonna go from the top to the bottom, and we're just we're pressing down with the belly of the brush, kind of like that, and allowing it to be wonky, allowing the paint to run out too. I think that can be really pretty. Right there, just to the bottom. I might want to make it just a little bit thicker. So you can go ahead and do that. And make sure that you hold your brush really loosely like I am, so that you get a really nice effect of looseness. See, I'm holding it so lightly. All right, we're gonna add in our next ones. I like that color, it's working for me. So we're gonna do the next guy over here. A little bit of space between, maybe a little bit darker, I don't know. And then just let them be wonky. You don't want them to be stick straight. This is gonna look weird. Let it run out, that's kind of pretty. And then we'll add in another one that crosses over to the middle a little bit. Just right next door, right here. And we'll go over it again. Just a little bit shorter, why not? There we go. I am using Stonehenge paper, by the way. It is linked in the description below. My affiliated Amazon link if you want to check it out. Stonehenge 100% cotton paper. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another one later. All right, I'm gonna grab from this one right here. It's a little bit darker, a little more brown, and then maybe a smaller guy here, a little bit thinner. I'm just using my pinky right here to kind of steady my hand. And then another one is going to kind of just put it right here, pretty thick. And it's going to start to arc over, all right? Arcing over, allowing that to get a little bit thicker. Okay, and then maybe another one right here. All right, so we have 6 on here. We could do more if we wanted. We can just kind of see how it goes. We like to do odd numbers, so I'm gonna do another one. I'm just gonna do another one right here. As I'm talking, I decided. Okay, just like so. So now for me, the more fun part, again, getting more paint on here, putting in some brown. So we're gonna do kind of a brownish green. We're gonna do some blue green as well. So grabbing some blue. I do have a blue green. Ooh, that is very blue. And a little bit more green. And a little bit of red. It's also gonna tone it down. So what we're gonna do now is start to add in the branches for where the leaves are gonna go. So I'm gonna put one here, just attaching really thin, just a little bit like this, kind of letting it go up like that. And then we can do some stems or some branches off of that and some leaves also. So this one is really thick. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, make it a bit lighter, but I think I'm gonna go with this green probably for now, a little brown in there. Excuse me. And add in some right here. It's okay if it bleeds together, it's what it's supposed to do, right? A little bit of a branch over there and over here. And let's just keep adding to what we're doing. So another one, maybe go straight up like that. And we can put some branches here. It's okay if they don't completely connect. Let's do another one over here. Just kind of arcing and bending. And when we put the leaves on, it's gonna be so fun. So we're going to be painting over things as well. What I do wanna do, probably easier at this point, is take some of this and kind of do like a shadow side. So I'm just gonna take my brush with it has a lot of wet paint on it, and I'm just loosely gonna fall it down on the left side. Okay, and that's gonna be that side that's in shadow more, and we can blend it later if we want to as well. I just wanna make sure that these guys have a little bit more dimension, so they're not boring. We don't want boring, we want exciting. So this is another thing that you can add to your decor. You could hang up the two paintings, eucalyptus. I'm just taking a damp brush and just kind of spreading it out. So just a little bit of spreading, but you can even leave that hard edge if you want. It can look kind of fun too. All right, let's do all the rest of these. You can work fast or slow. Honestly, as I'm working faster, I feel like I end up getting a more of an interesting look, interesting lines and that kind of thing, because I'm not so focused on perfection, you know? But sometimes that can make people nervous going so fast, and, you know, just take it slow with your brush. Allow yourself to enjoy the process. As I'm running out of green, just adding. You see how much cooler that looks when you have a little bit more dimension, and as that dries, we'll add in the notches that are classic to bamboo. We've got some blooms happening here, which is great. Some extra texture for our trees. I love that. Not on purpose, but definitely accepting it. Okay. All right, we'll mix up some more of our green paint. I'm just using both greens at this point. Adding in some brown. So it's really dark, then lightening it with some water. And now that this is super dark compared to what we had before, you can even go in and add a little bit more dimension in some of these spots. Maybe not everywhere. And some of your branches, or sorry, some of your trunks might still be kind of wet. So, you know, you'll get some interesting bleeds and stuff, and that's fine. Just spreading it out. I just want to make sure these guys are fancy fun, and very interesting. And then we'll get to our branches soon too, which is going to be really fun to do. So the branches and the leaves are my favorite, honestly. So fun. All right, so, you know, I kind of like the blocky style of this. I may not, you know, blend it in too much. This one maybe a little bit here. And I want to, this is crisscrossing, so I'm going to crisscross it here, I think. maybe. So anyway, that's fine. A little bit more here. Okay. All right. So let's keep adding in our branches. So we're just gonna try to be random and fun. So maybe some short ones here and over here, and then stemming up there. We're just trying to keep them loose, keep them wonky and fun. And maybe one over here. It's going to cross over. A few little shorter ones. And just really kind of feel it out, you know, what makes sense, what looks pretty, what looks nice. And right here too. I find myself talking so much and I realize I don't have to. I know you guys don't need me to blabber the entire time. It's just a thing I do. This one is gonna go up a little bit longer. And I do want to, you know, cover up some of this part here with the leaves. So I'm just adding in that, and you can always add in more after you step back and, you know, taking a look at your composition and kind of seeing what you think. So, but I think down here too, we probably need some over in this way. All right, so I'm gonna start adding in my leaves, which is gonna be really fun. Just taking the brush and pressing down and lifting up slow, just like that, okay? Just like that. And we can take some of this paint as well, little stem, and then let's go right here. So they have a little bit of a point to them, just like that. Okay, I am switching to another brush that is supposedly going to give me a better point. A little bit, because that was getting a little frustrating and I couldn't remember the brush that I had used in the sample, but I think it was this one, which is a silver black velvet. Lovely brush, it does the trick. All right, so just pressing down and lifting up. Some longer leaves there. And just adding these in. They're kind of big for what we're dealing with here. But bamboo comes in many different sizes. So you could pretend these are tree trunks, or you could pretend they're just stalks of bamboo, which would actually make more sense if they would be this size. So anyway, either way, you know, it's an artist's rendition of it. So you paint it how you want to paint it. I always say that. It's your choice. And that's all good. Let's add another one right here. Just angling my brush to get the angle that I want. A little bit of stem, pressing down. If they're a little bit wonky, that's okay. All right, here we go. And this is a very meditative practice. You know, it's like you can be kind of thinking about a lot of things, or you can be thinking about very little and just putting those brush strokes down and enjoying the process of creating. And so I hope this gives you a sense of relaxation and all the things, because we really do need to find more ways where we can take care of ourselves and help ourselves have that rejuvenation experience, you know? So that we're feeling like, you know, we can give back to the world, to our work, to our families, our job life, and all the things. And it can be really hard if we are not taking care of ourselves first. We start to get into a rut and into a place of, you know what, this job is draining me, this life is draining me, my family is draining me, and we need to take a space for ourselves as well. Now, I'm not saying we need to be selfish. I'm definitely saying self-care, which is very different than being self-indulgent. And self-indulgence is just the idea that, you know, you are thinking about yourself first and foremost, what you want and what you need, and you're not really thinking about what's good for you, for your family, what's healthy also. So if we're indulging in Netflix all the time, sorry guys, if we're doing Netflix all the time, we're gonna get to a saturation point where, you know, it's no longer healthy for us. Sometimes we need to take a break from life and, you know, binge a little bit on something. But when it gets to a point where we're not sleeping enough or we're not exercising enough or at all because we're just watching Netflix, that's not something that's going to energize you and make you feel like you're ready for the next work week ahead. Does that make sense? And so we want to do, you know, we want to have treats, absolutely, but we want to make sure that they are managed well and that they are not, you know, overtaking everything we're doing. Mix up a little bit more of this, took advantage of that, and I'm adding that in. I'm noticing that some of these leaves are starting to disappear in the background of some of these bamboo when they're over the stalks, and so I'm just gonna darken it up a little bit. So a little stem, pull out that leaf. If you go slow, like I'm not doing well at, see, then you get a little bit more of a point. So try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that as well. I'm gonna try to do that as well. There we go. And I like alternating between the different colors of these leaves. I think it makes a really pretty composition. Adding another one there. Excuse me. I feel like I have cereal stuck in my throat today, so it's just giving me a little bit of a bother. It's gonna be okay. And over here. So yeah, this part is just a lot of filling in the details in the space, but it's quite lovely. In the middle of all this, I want to start doing those notches for the bamboo, which are just this rounded band like this. So instead of a straight across line, we're just going to curve that just like so. Okay? You can have a jagged line too, and I wouldn't match them all up. So this one is, I think this one's actually kind of crossing here. I don't know, it's hard to tell. So I'm just going to put the band in and not worry too much about that. Okay. And see how that's starting to really come together. Really looking like some bamboo, I think. How's yours looking? I hope that you can kind of analyze what you like about what you see so far. Maybe something that you would change or do differently, or maybe you love how your painting is coming out, which is always the best. Okay, just a few more little bands curving right there, and the last guy right here. Very nice. All right, so now I'm going to finish putting in these leaves, and I'll give you a nice little bit of silence from my voice. We'll put up the music a little bit, and hopefully you just enjoy and relax as you finish painting your leaves, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're almost done. We just want to add a little bit of splatter to our composition here, okay? A little bit of paint on my brush, just a little bit of splatter, not a ton, just in between those branches. And that's it. So that is our second painting. Well, those are simple paintings that we can use to decorate any space in our house. A little bit of greenery and some botanical happiness.